And welcome everybody to Free Wheel Station. We start off. We get like the general, like the pan view that going through the drage system with the three different planets and their various moons. And then we focus on the station itself, and it's like this bicycle wheel hanging in space that looks like there's still need of repairs, but it seems like there's stuff going on. There's a couple of ships coming and going, what have you. And the camera pans up underneath the bottom, and we see the wrench welded into the joint in a couple of in a corner and whatnot, and come up on the other side and get the Freewheel Station logo across the top. And I've got a couple of questions. Are you guys for Philip and company? Are you guys still going to be down in Himwell, or have you traveled back at this point to the station?
So long as we tried to make our rolls the next day and didn't find out anything special, then we would have came back, because 3 weeks without us is probably Colovian's breaking point. And that's So you're going to need to roll how long it took us to go back so I can still keep track of the timeline.
All right, so I gotta
take your time.
Switch over here. Let's see. What was it?
D6 plus 1?
D6 plus 2? Yeah, I was just trying to find my thing here.
So another 7 days. So that was a total of 21 days, which puts us at Estrus the 15th. So we're halfway through the standard core year.
All right. Let's see. What is this? So you maybe we come in with you guys doing your there we go. Hey, that is slightly better, but not quite. Yeah, I still can't see what I'm rolling. All right. Sorry about that. I'm trying to adjust here. So yeah, maybe we kind of get like where you guys are coming back to the station. And maybe we get like the scene where like you're greeted by Colovian and maybe even Crenville, or maybe not, I don't know. Probably Crenville I guess Crenville's probably busy right now, but Colovian at least with a couple of your minions or what have you. And as you're kind of disembarking, you're noticing that things are like, a little busier and things are kind of coming along. The casino looks like there are people there that are inside training or whatnot. Like the place is still closed, but it looks like there's, maybe like some like preliminary setup training kind of stuff going on, that you're like just basic bar shit. Like, here's how you run the operating systems for the for the point of sale systems. Here's how you run here's how we do like what our processes are for various this and that's.
What if I break the blender, boss?
Yeah, what if you break the blender?
You go to the corpse recycler. Don't break anything.
Yeah, no, it's well, I think the Grimbuckle Alliance isn't going to put somebody in the corpse recycler for breaking a blender, but they might dock somebody's pay for that shit. Well, I guess you're paying for the next blender then, asshole. But anyway, but yeah, as you're kind of like strolling on by, and maybe you're kind of going to the offices to keep like moving yourself forward and whatnot. Like catch up on what your business is here and figure out who you need to meet with. And maybe the camera does the sort of fly on the wall thing and starts following somebody else. Um, so, Sassy, did you ever think of a name for your
Pyre.
character? Pyre? Oh, awesome. So, Pyre, let's get a description of you. Like maybe we're still like coming out of like the docking area and like you're the camera starts
Oh, can you
following
meet
you.
Nimbus?
Um, uh, I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, you come off and you see you, but first let's get a description of what Pyre looks like.
Pyre is ow. Ow. Well, Pyre is throwing things around his room by trying to put his foot up on his chair and completing absolute chaos. Fuck. Sorry. So Pyre is a very well dressed let me put it this way. You look at Pyre and the first thing you see is gambler. Looks like he doesn't come from money. Money just goes to him. He wears his money.
Nice.
He has it's a very well looking man with hair that's done up, kind of resemble almost fire, and if you look closely you almost do see it shimmering as if you were looking into a campfire. Fire Ifrit. His eyes also have that same similar effect as he probably just I'd say he's probably about 6 foot. 6 foot, well dressed. Just looks way too fancy than he actually is. It's one of those people that you can tell he's only dressing fancy. He's not like a oh ho ho yes my servants come to me. He's like I found some money recently and I got dressed up. Let's go.
Nice. Is he carrying any? Is he carrying any like weapons on him or anything like that?
Nothing obvious. No. He, like literally looks like he came from one casino is going to a next. Probably
Awesome.
It's cutting to him finding out that the casino isn't even open yet. So
Yeah,
he's just like, God.
Your whole reason to be here to come on board in the casinos. But why don't you give me a culture roll? And somebody's probably going to have to tell me what it is because I can't
got
see
you.
my screen very well.
Culture's not too great, but 14.
14.
14. Nice. So you do hear, by the way, you do hear that there is a Bort's Booze and Bitches on the, what is it, the level 3?
Level 4.
Level 4?
Level 3 is where all the nice guests stay, and me.
So, level 4, and you're like, what it looks like as far as it goes is that, you know, you've always heard that you could find a pretty good game of black holes and cannonballs in most Bort's Booze and Bitches.
Yeah, he probably swaps, like just right then and there. They tell him about that, and he's just like, all right, and starts taking off his fancy jacket, just shoving it into a bag, and pulls out just like a less fancy, just normal station wear. It's like, I'm not going to a Bort's Booze and Bitches dressed like that.
Yeah. You're greeted by a human who says, "Welcome to Free Will Station. What species and name are you?"
He doesn't really hide his species, I guess. So as he's like getting his normal wear on, he's just like, name is Pyre and species. Well, if it's not obvious, it's Ifrit. As he winks, little spark comes out of his eye.
Thank you, sir. My name is Ninvis. I'm the official greeter here. There's a Bort's Booze and Bitches, and pretty soon our casino will be opening, and I hear we're getting more cool stuff too. I think that's all I need from you. If you're going to need accommodations, you'll have to go to level 2, and there'll be some offices there. And oh man, what's his name? He's a big green guy, a big green vest. Defron will hook you up with a room. But just so you know, you have to keep your room clean, or they'll kick you off the station. You have a great day, sir.
You as well. I think I'll go earn my what's it called?
Hey,
My room.
Chief?
Yeah, I'll go earn my room and board real quick as he finishes getting his outfit on.
All right. So give us a little like do you have like a flashback of why you're in the Drage system? Like this is the best place to gamble in this system because it's really the only place it's easy to find that's in the here to gamble. But what brought you out to the Durelium frontier so far away from the Pact Worlds or the Vescarium or other regular ports of call?
Well, out of character, I'll be honest. I'm an operative espionage specialist, so it probably cuts back to him just at a casino gambling when someone walks up and just lays an envelope down. He grabs it and keeps gambling, and then kind of fast forwards to his room, opens it up, and it's essentially just it's there is a new station opening up. Just go find out, make sure it's not a danger to anyone. So essentially that's what it's telling.
Wow. Oh wait.
And then it in the upcoming, like the things we know about it, it's currently in process building whatever you guys are doing, and then Casino, he just gives a wide smile as he starts packing, and it cuts to this.
Nice. All right.
I like it. But you're a player. I got you.
All right. So yeah, so maybe like you're headed down to the casino, and as you're kind of like going through like sort of the common areas and whatnot, there's a old man. It's an old Borai, to be specific. He used to be human anyway. And he just seems to be yelling at everybody about like some doom, some prophecies something about 999 is the cycle, and something about like the followers on the followers of Kavoy are all deceitful traitors and betrayers, deceitful liars and betrayers, and all these kinds of crazy things. There's a few people who seem to be listening, but there's a lot of people who pay him no mind as you walk by. He give me a perception check here.
Also, surprisingly, not great at those. Ha! That one. I'm too focused on going to boards, booze, and bitches.
Yeah, you. Oh. How did I leave the game? Let's see. I got it back. Nice. Yeah. So maybe like this is just something that like you hear in the background as you're just like you're doing your thing. So you get down to as you go down to level 4, like you see that there's some graffiti here and there. Some of it's like 999 is a cycle and beyond the spark and this, that, and the other. There's other stuff that's a lot cruder. That's that is more typical of sort of like stuff that you would expect. But they're for graffiti and whatnot. And as you get you get to boards, and there is, as always at a boards, there is somebody passed out or possibly dead laying across the front doorstep. As you step over and go inside, the music is loud. There is an android synth metal band playing on the rather small stage. The place has the overall feeling of being just a little too small to hold the amount of people that are here. It's the lighting is it's bar lighting, but it's dimmer bar lighting. And there's a bartender behind the bar. There's T-shirts for sale behind the bar. There's an assortment of like nuts and various dried fruit and vegetable snacks, and some popcorn and whatnot. Packages of popcorn and a microwave behind the bar as well. There's and you can see there's several tables where there are different people around here that look potentially questionable, playing cards and playing other games of chance, and you're able to find there is a game of cannons and black holes going on in the back, towards one of the back tables.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna head there. And actually, I thought this would add it automatically, but I've got to add my operative edge to every single skill.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta put those into your bonuses and stuff there. Little eyeball thingies.
Yeah, I put it as a there's a little note section. I put it there because I thought it'd still pop up with every roll, so I'd remember it. And then I realized it's not doing that, so of course I forgot.
Yeah, there you go. Well, but yeah, we'll
I'm at probably. Oh yeah. I look around. I see the table that has the gambling going. I will go there.
All right. So give me a profession gambler check.
Yeah. Stop there. 31.
Nice. Somehow you have managed to come up with enough to be able to afford if you read the pamphlet and whatnot, or if you check into the station systems and whatnot, you can afford a room rental for a week here.
Yeah, I'm acting every much part of an addicted gambler as I'm playing this. And then once I win that amount, though, it's just like, well, I suppose it's time I should probably actually go find some room and board. Don't worry, gentlemen. I'll be back.
Yeah, sure. It's not hard. We kind of, there are offices for that. Like there's people that you can check in with. And probably at this point, who do you guys have assigned to doing the rooms and stuff? Like assigning.
Defron is on shift today.
Okay, yeah. So it'd be the Vesk. So
You said those rooms
Brian.
are what floor?
Brian.
You're on the floor.
It's actually better if it's your guy, so we can introduce your member.
Yeah, I could be on duty.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, so the actual room and board that I was told of. You said that's on what floor?
Room and board. What levels do you guys have room and board, like actual station rooms in?
All right, so level 3.
Living quarters.
Level 3 is living quarters. That is nice. Like the rooms are all 100%, and we've rented quite a few of them out to the people that are like, we're currently waiting to open a shop and we want to hang out here. Crenville's there. Or not Crenville. Why do I keep saying Crenville? Is that right?
Crenville, yeah.
Okay, I got it right for once and then doubted myself. All right.
Yeah.
So Crenville's there. Crenville's sister is actually on level 6 at the moment, but we did her room up nice because we still haven't technically had that talk, or if we had that talk, it's a flashback, but we'll get there. And then Silver Soul is on level 3 with us because he's from Paperleaf. Right, and then what was it? Level 2 is guest quarters, both good and luxurious. And then technically, even if the casino isn't open, if we really wanted to, he could pay double what he's got to pay for a week, and he could stay at the casino in one of the rooms. He just wouldn't be able to gamble.
Let's see.
But as far as it goes, and then level 6 is where Dr. Ogelhoff and Soul Demon are currently, and the children have decided that they wanted to change their room from level 3 down to level 6 so that they could be nearer to Soul or to Murder Fist, Death Arms. So they're on level 6 too. Other than that, that's all I can think of. I don't even know what level 5 is. I think level 5 is mostly empty.
This is so confusing.
I need to write it all down so the canon stays the same, but I'll listen to this like 3 times this week. I'll get it down on paper.
There you
That's
go.
a space station for you.
Yeah.
And things are constantly moving. I mean, like, there are already like spaces set up that we've just put signs on, like future home of ship industry. We have a sign up now, just now, that it's like our club goes here. It's like that.
Yeah. Coming soon project signs.
Yeah. It looks like a mall getting new stores.
Nice.
In fact, there's a mall coming soon.
We'll say maybe I earned enough for the casino stay for the week.
Well, yeah. I think that makes sense, and that means you have to meet Crenville to make that happen because his managers are not in yet. But I think like when you meet Crenville and you're like he drives a hard bargain, like it takes all of your winnings to secure a room. And the casino is closed, and the casino is closed, and he's like, and just remember that we do have a security system in place, and security personnel is already on site. Just because my managers aren't here yet doesn't mean
Hey.
we aren't.
You need to describe Crenville to
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's
so
important.
Crenville is a tiefling, and Crenville, he like most he's actually dressed when you see him in a suit. You can tell that it's an armored clothing kind of suit, but it's his tie is worn loose, like, and his cuffs are not always as neat, aren't completely neat. Like he looks a little bit less put together than he probably should for somebody wearing a suit. But you were told before you ever came up here that this guy is the representative for the Grimbuckle Syndicate, who are supposed to be a fairly dangerous space criminal syndicate who is in league with the owners of the space station at this point. Like, so you like, despite his somewhat less put together appearance, you're well aware that he's got some position of authority within the underworld, if such a thing could still be called the underworld in a place like this. And he's just like, but he does like he.
Oh, and you're an operative. You know extra things. Awesome.
So actually, that is a good point. Well, you haven't you've both basically just been gambling and securing yourself a place to a room. But yeah, there is a room with there is a room that is available for you. It's not like
Luxurious.
super luxe or anything.
Oh.
But it's nice, but it's not super luxe. And it's obviously conveniently located where in a place that's close enough to the offices and whatnot that that you're fairly certain that they're gonna be keeping some kind of an eye on you to some extent. But I'm not sure where exactly you're from, but the Grimbuckle Syndicate sort of originated out of the Tabori cluster, so they're not a Pact Worlds or Veskarian problem per se. Or even Marixa Republic problem. But
We don't talk about Merixa.
But you do have a room secured, and so you've met. So now you have met like Crenville, and Crenville is kind of like, and most of the time, you kind of caught him in the by the by because he was just like, it was one of those deals where he happened to be where you were at. You got lucky because the guy that was like, I don't know if he's left yet or not. We'll check. And he apparently hadn't left yet. He's like, yeah. And it was one of those where he kind of had to make you walk with him for a bit because he was on his way to do something else, um, and what have you. But yeah, so you have a moment to get set up in your room. Um, Dr. Kurad, do you what is your destination having just got back on ship?
Probably going to the med bay to make sure it's still in working order.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you go down to the med bay, and when you enter the med bay, you go in, and there's some there's some maybe it's one of the kids, maybe it's the Kasathan kid Tolo is in there, but there's somebody else in there. There's a goblin in there, and he's wearing a bathrobe, and he's got like a kit strapped to his side that you would probably recognize as a biohacker's kit, and he's got a fuzzy slippers on, and he's looking at the kid. He's like, "All right, now you're just gonna want to drink a lot more water, all right? Because I told you, like you gotta keep it natural. Like all the synthetic processed food that you might be getting from, I don't even know where, like that's gonna back your system up. It's no wonder you're constipated, man. You're not drinking enough water." He's like, and the kid looks visibly embarrassed. He's like, so what I'm telling you is like come back and see me if it persists, but you're gonna need to drink at least, 4 or 5 bottles of water before you go to bed tonight. And I'm assuming you've already had a couple. He's like, hey, and the kid looks at him and he's like, and he just kind of nods. He sees you, Kurad, and as soon as he sees you, he like kind of edges his way out, like he cautiously makes his way by you.
Yeah,
And
my head just slowly follows him.
yeah, and
Oh, and the whole med bay smells like halfling or hyperleaf.
well, it probably smells a little bit of some sort of herbal substance, and the goblin turns around and looks at you and goes, "Oh, hey, like I didn't get a chance. Is like we haven't gotten a chance to like catch you yet. Like we were in the office at the same time and whatnot. I'm Dr. Oglehop," and he puts his hand out.
Yeah, Kurad reluctantly shakes his hand.
He's like, I am a fully accredited doctor. I specialize in herbal remedies, natural holistic healing, and I also am a spiritual guide if you're in need of a spiritual guide. And I don't know that you necessarily do, because I hear you're pretty spiritual yourself. Was that the other guy? No, I'm pretty sure the other guy wasn't very spiritual. I think he was more into like guns and knives and things. Well, I mean, I'm not sure how much he's into knives after that last fight, but I mean, he has a knife of his own. And he kind of looks at you. He's like, so like I was told that I was gonna be helping out like with the med bay and stuff, and he, he's like, I just want you to know I'm not here to like step on your toes or anything. If you need anything, just let me know. Uh, he's like, he's like, he's like, really, like anything, man. He's like, I got, you know, he's like, oh hey, I heard you guys brought some stuff back from. He said were you guys going to hunt some plant and whatnot that you could turn into like drugs and stuff?
Yes.
Ogrins, actually. Because I happen to be pretty good at that kind of stuff.
I wonder why.
He goes, it's like, he's like, if you need any help, man, just let me know. And he's like, I think he kind of like pulls out like I think he pulls out like a some sort of pre-rolled cigarette or of some kind. It's got like some kind of like yellow looking herbal substance in it. You kind of catch a flash of. But and he takes he takes out like a lighter and lights it, and he's like, anyway, like I'm I'm late for my meditation. I think. Am I late for a meditation? I think I'm late for something.
Oh, you should go and find out what you're late for.
He's like, that's a good idea, man. He goes, you're
Yeah.
really smart. And he goes and he wanders off.
Kurok's inside his helmet, scratching his head with one of his eye stalks, and it's just like, it'll probably be good for something.
Yeah. Mostly you find the med bay in decent in good order. It does smell a little funny, but um, he seems to have kept some kind of records, although while you were gone, although they're not the most organized. Some of them are on the computer. Some of them are handwritten notes on like old school charts with on actual paper and stuff. And the paper, some of which has like what look like grease stains on them, or something. So one of them looks like maybe it's been like ash has been wiped off of it at some point.
Barbecue sauce.
Maybe not barbecue sauce. But yeah, he's like, but otherwise, none of the actual medical equipment is out of order or like unsanitary or anything. Like he at least has been professional about that much, even if he's a bit disorganized with his record keeping.
Mm-hmm. Well, I turn on the air purification system just to get that herbal smell out.
Nice.
Yeah.
And as we cut away, we'll cut over to Death Arms. Death Arms, what is your first destination upon coming back to the ship? Coming back to the station.
I believe that I would be going to the boards, boots, and bitches to look for any bounties that I can collect.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So maybe you get down to the boards, and there is that aggressive android synth metal going on, and it's on the stage, and it's the place is getting a little bit more packed. It's getting later on in what you might consider the day, or at least it's getting to be prime hours for people who like to go out to boards anyway. So there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot going on here, but you're not really seeing any bounties per se at the moment. But give me a perception check. So the crowd just kind of it looks like a fairly decent normal night in here. You're having a hard time letting your guard down, but you're not that you feel like that might even be a little bit of force of habit in and of itself. There's a game, there's a few gambling games going on, down here. Couple of different, and there's place to get a drink and what have you. obviously, as the bar and some snack food there. You gonna stick around, enjoy the music, get some bar food, drink some drinks, or are you gonna head off someplace else?
I think I'm gonna head off and see if I can figure out if there is anyone else doing the vandalizing.
All right, so you're gonna go investigate the vandal the graffiti stuff. All right. Yeah. Okay. So did you ever put any ranks into profession bounty hunting?
I have not. No.
Okay.
I don't
Alright.
think we've raced yet.
Oh, that's right. You
No,
haven't.
we have not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just put one of the professions bounty hunter.
Yeah. So, um, yeah. So you're like maybe you're kind of like maybe you're kind of like looking around, poking around, doing like your sort of like. So give me. Oh, yeah. So you're basically investigating. You you are one thing you're noticing is that there's a little bit more influx coming into the station. Um, newer faces and what have you. There are a few pirate crews that have made their way in, but uh, collecting the bounty on some of them would prove fairly difficult, if not outright impossible, as they have their full crew with them. The bounty hunter captains of pirate ships tend to travel with their entourage. I think maybe you come across like maybe you kind of come across Quentin Maloon, the representative from the Velquin Empire, as you're just sort of like walking by, like as you're wandering around investigating. I think maybe like in the sort of more commons areas or whatever, you might find him like sort of like gazing out at the stars, out of a view window or something. As you're kind of wandering by, he's like, and I think he sees you and he nods. He goes, "Mr. Arms."
Mr. Arms is dead. Soul Demon.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I think we lost Death Arms here.
Yeah, it seems to be that's what's the case.
All right. Well, in that case, let's cut over to Kib. What is Kib doing? What is Kib's first order of business on coming back to the station?
You're going to the security room and see make sure everything's up to snuff and all that.
You go to wherever you guys are centralizing security out of. It'd probably be operations for now, unless you guys bought like
Well,
a
that one
controller.
room that I was in last time to do all that stuff, make sure all those cameras are up and stuff.
Well, I figure
that-
you've been doing that all over the place.
Yeah, I thought security room was on the main floor where the actual office with our secret safe is.
Did you actually get a security room upgrade thing for the
No.
station?
But it's technically where Grimbuckle has been running cameras and security for us since we got here.
Well, they've been doing that out of operations.
All right, well, is that where our original office that wasn't open to the public is?
Yeah, well,
Okay,
operations.
and that's where it is.
That's where you guys run everything from like docking clearance to centralizing administrative tasks, dealing with like everything
Also,
from.
where if we have to pilot the ship, that's where we pilot it from, right?
It would essentially be, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Like if you think of like your operations, I mean, the easiest way to think about it is like every space station has like their operations sort of center. Think about like on both Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5, where they spent a lot of their time when they were doing most of their operations. Both of them had like an ops center, basically. Yours looks like however you guys figure it looks like, but I figured it was kind of like a roundish room with consoles and all around the walls and stuff.
I'll be honest, I've been imagining that deck like the main deck of Star Trek or the Enterprise, and then our office is where Picard's office would be.
Oh no! Wow, I think your operations center would be a lot bigger than just the bridge of the
Bridge, that was what I can think of. All right, well, but still that same basic shape and design.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah. So which basically still has like a lot of the consoles up in the like sort of wall area and stuff, with
Exactly.
with a few freestanding consoles here and there. So yeah, so basically you're so you're gonna go back to ops then?
Yeah, I just want to make sure the structure of the station is still holding up over the last 20 some days we've been gone.
Right on. You could there. You also have an engineering areas to work from too. So, um,
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
never
it
took away your original job.
the visual of it first, then
yeah.
go to engineering to make sure
Okay.
that part is, it's a multiple step process.
All right.
Go with the visual, and then I go to there, and then I'd be like, okay, so we need to fix this. This thing's still working. That's in the process. We're all good. Yeah, we're doing fine.
Philip, are you going to ops too, or were you going somewhere else?
If it's been long enough, I'm going to skip ops and head to the med base so I can poke in and see if they've met yet, because I
Okay.
don't know.
All right. So, Kib, you're uh, give me give me some computers and engineering checks here. I want to see what you can find out here. Nice. Nice. All right. So there's always some minor problems to track down, and you have some of your crew and some of the Grimbuckle helping with that stuff too. But there are some things that require your personal touch. And there's a couple of like items marked in the like engineering logs, things that that they emailed you about for like special attention, like or answers and stuff on. There's like some problems with there's some problems with like some of the power conduits on level 2, and there's some communications issues between the docking bay or the docking ports and operations that need to be tracked down. Some of it's computer work, some of it's engineering, and none of it's hard enough that you're going to have that you're going to have to like really struggle with it, but it's going to take you some time. So you've got like, it's stuff where you're like, oh, okay, I see. They
What
missed
was
this.
that?
What is that?
Uh,
God.
So, that's that one where you have to connect this thing to that. I'll get it. You guys thought I outlined this, but hey, whatever. Gives me something to do. We got to connect that to that, then that'll work. And then we have to go over here and connect this to this, and then you'll be able to hear each other and see each other, and everything will work fine. But I'll get on those two things, and you guys continue doing your greatness that you've been doing for the last 14 days, and we'll be all right. Right? Yeah.
Oh, demon, we don't know what that is, but it's tops.
That's coming from
It's a
Brian.
Lustro. Oh, that's unusual. So,
Oh.
demon, my apologies.
All right, yeah. So we see Kib like going through the security, like the engineering logs, and then going through security footage, and there's a couple of, and you're like, grab your tools and head off then, huh? All right. Cool. Philip, you managed to make your way down to the med bay where Dr. Kurad is at.
Right. I have a Ha and tow. But when we get there, I open the door to the med bay, but I do it in such a way that I'm still technically hiding, and I peek around, and I'm like, "So, did you meet the new doctor yet?"
Yes. Where did you find him?
If you want someone to blame, Death Arms found him. He was apparently wandering level 6 or 5, I forget which. But while you were in surgery, Death Arms almost died, and this was the one that brought him back. So I figured it was better to have him doing something. And it gives us options to have him do stuff while you and I are out on adventures.
Just as long as he doesn't stink up my med bay again.
Yes, he is very fond of whatever that herb is. He also apparently does Lux disease, so occasionally he might be out of his gourd.
Yes, that's obvious.
So, how bad was it? Did you have to clean the whole place?
Well, surprisingly, he kept it in a well-maintained condition.
Good, good. I told him that if he was too dirty, we'd kick him off the ship. So,
He wouldn't even make it to the airlock.
so far I haven't had to threaten that with him. Only Death Arms. Anyway, we have a couple of meetings that we're going to need to do before this is over. We don't get them today. I mean, we have kept the weird part of Kurad and his brother's family waiting for like 3.5 weeks now.
Grinville.
Oh, dang it. Crinville. Kurad. I don't know why I get the two of you confused. I mean, it's really ridiculous. But anyway. The Tiefling, not you. But then again, I can't remember Murderhand's name half the time. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe we should run some scans on my brain later.
Well, that can be arranged.
But yeah, I don't know. What else do we have to do? I mean, we just got back. Eventually, Colovian is going to find the two of us and be like, I'm ready for time off. And I'm going to be like, no. And then I'm going to be like, just kidding.
She greeted you guys at the door and gave you kind of a situation, sort of like
Oh, I did miss that. You're right.
But most of it was basic station business at this point. The bigger things that you had on your plate.
So, remind me what we have to do to delegate work so we can make sure that her shifts are covered for the next 3 days. I mean, I don't want to do it like places that we won't mention online that you and I both work at, but I want it to actually run smoothly instead of just being like, you're fucked, it'll be okay.
No, I think you can shift personnel for that fairly easily. I mean,
all right, if that's the way you want to do it, it's fine.
It's delegate task is for more for when you want your organization to do something specific. Other than covering a day off is just sort of like a covering the day off kind of thing.
All right, well, then we send for her, and when she gets there, I'll be like, you get 3 days off, you did a great job, here's 100 credits.
All right. Yeah. She will gladly take the days off. You also had Valen Soar of the Gemfish Trade Consortium that was waiting for an answer. You have Sestra, who apparently left for a couple of days and then came back.
So we still need to talk to Crinville?
Crinville.
Yeah, so we should probably do that first because once again, 3 weeks, I'd be pissed. I wouldn't want to work here anymore. I've been waiting to talk to the bosses for 3 weeks. Why do they keep putting me on hold? Well, they're not even here right now. Oh, okay. So, would you like to come with me to find Crenville? He should be somewhere in the casino area. And if not, I guess we have station-wide comms.
Yes, let's go find him.
Right? I mean, poor guy. I almost feel like getting him drunk and trying to find out what the hell that's up about. But then again, it's none of my business. So,
Yeah.
we head towards the casino to see if we can find Crenville. And if it's someone else's turn, we're fine with that.
No, I think when you get to the casino, that like, and you could, and by the way, do you radio for Kib or Death Arms to join you on this?
Well, let's start with Death Arms. Death Arms, you're back, right?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so would you like to escort us to the casino to talk to Crenville? Or are you
Sure.
currently in the... All right,
I mean,
excellent.
yeah.
All right, we'll see you at the casino. And then I hang up and I call Kib and I'm like, Kib, you're 3 hours late.
3 hours? No, that goes over there. Yeah, for what? I don't remember what I'm late
Did your
for.
alarm not go off?
No, I was trying to get. No, that connects over. No, you're an idiot. Go away. I'll do it. What? Where am I needed?
Casino.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be right there.
All right.
And it goes over and plugs the thing in, and then goes over there.
We're so mean to him. His blood pressure is so high.
Oh, poor Kib. He's just dealing with the stuff. Yeah, so I think when you guys get to the casino, you kind of get there at the tail end of, you kind of get there, and he's talking to what appears to be a very well-dressed Ifrit, but one who, like, who looks a little bit more, not like old money necessarily.
Actually, I'd switched to a lesser stylish wear
Oh,
when I
yeah.
went to booze.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe you're like dressed down then. Yeah, and maybe you're like coming in, and Crenville's like, you will of course need to check in and check out when you leave. He goes, he's like, don't lose this temporary pass because if you do, well, he goes, then you won't be getting back in. He goes, he goes, I'm doing an awful big favor here for you. And he's like, and he kind of sees you like the fellow up in the rest
Yeah,
of you.
we walk up behind him and kind of surround him and stare at this guy
He's like,
while Crenville's talking.
and he says, well, he sees you before you get right up behind him.
Well, no, we're not trying to sneak up on him. We're just behind him. Yeah.
Well, as soon as he sees you, he's like, he looks at you, Pyre, and he says, and why don't we get the description of all of since this is the first time Pyre has seen any of your characters, let's get the description for each of you.
Death Arms, you go first.
Death Arms.
Okay, I am a big, muscly, reddish, four-armed creature with a sonic pistol on the right hip, and then a knife on the left, with a rifle on his back. And right now, what he's doing is he has two of his hands, one's in a fist, and just punching the other one with the other two hands on his hips.
All right. Soul Demon, I love you,
Intimidator.
but you're a Kasathan. You have to add that to the words that you say when you describe yourself.
He said four-armed. I was like Kasathan. I already typed Kasathan.
Yeah,
Good for you. But still, it's a thing that I have a problem with, having been a Kasathan for 5 years.
And you're not sure why his skin is red. Most Kasathans have a lighter bluish gray skin color. You're guessing,
Or even tan.
You're guessing maybe some sort of like dye job, skin dye job or something, some cosmetic something. Either that or very painful ritualistic tattoos covering his entire body. You're not sure which, but for whatever reason, his skin is red. You're not sure he could have been experimented on or something. Who knows? Philip was.
Standing directly behind Karad is an 8-foot tall, bald woman with big red eyes that have vapor trails coming off of them. She's in a very pretty dress, and she has a club on her back, as well as a hand cannon on her hip.
What is she?
Not Eoxian, Eladrian.
The Elibrian race, most of them are undead at this point because they killed their planet, so they went undead to survive. But you'd heard rumors that there were still Elibrians that were living members of their species, but they're so vanishingly rare that you thought they were only a myth. Most Elibrians are Borai or some other form of undead, but this one's actually a living, breathing specimen.
All right, I'm rare like a gray.
Ooh.
Let's see. So, Kip.
Well, Kip comes running in the room with
Yeah, you were
different
late.
things and putting things back in his belt. I'm here on time. This time, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Hi, what's up? And he's just a little rat dude with like different tools and stuff strapped to him, and a little pistol somewhere. Maybe I don't know. Cheeks kind of puffy, but he's a little rat dude just going. I'm here. I made it. Sorry for being late, but I had to fix that because that guy was an idiot. But hey, we got it fixed. What I miss?
Not much. You're actually perfectly timed for introductions. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I make sure this thing doesn't look like a tin can. It looked like a tin can at one point, but I fixed it. It's getting better.
Yeah, and
That leaves my favorite doctor,
Dr.
Karad.
Yeah. I can never pronounce my racist name. I know
Osharu.
Osharu. Thank you. So yeah, you see about a 5'8" Osharu standing in front of you, all decked out in his like armor type gear, with the helmet on and the sort of like sun visors always down, like he's hiding what he really is. And he just looks you up and down.
Yeah, and I think this is like Crenville looks over and says, these are our landlords, as it were. This is Miss Philip Defoe.
Hi, Kirsty.
And is Dr. Karad, and that the Yisakai, the excitable Yisakai, is Kib, and this one here is.
I whisper in his ear.
He goes, no, I got it. This one here is Hegunkel Jelef Sodo Jufse of Clan C. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, but just call me Death Arms. It's way easier.
He's like, He goes, as you wish. He goes, um, says Miss Depfo and Dr. Kurad are the proprietors. Kib here takes care of all of the ship station's needs, and Mr. Death Arms here is the bodyguard for Kib. Apparently,
That's what is listed in it on the books.
is says he says if the he says and he's like he looks over, he goes, Miss Depfo company, this here is Mr. Pyre. He's recently arrived.
Mhm.
He'll be staying in one of the rooms here temporarily.
Ah, our first guest. How wonderful. Kib, write that down.
I do. I do feel I was a little hasty in arriving here, as I've recently learned you're not open for business yet.
Yes, well, with the restrictions that this system has on it, it takes a while to hire enough people in core and the Viscarium and then travel them here.
Understandable. I've found other means of passing the time.
Right. I was going to say, yes, currently all gambling is being held in boards until the casino comes up. Then they'll have to pretend that, they're not doing it again. But they pay us very well to be here, so I don't really have much problem with that. So what brings you to our out of the way sort of place? Just the gambling? Because I didn't think our reps had done that good of an advertising job for us.
I am a connoisseur of casinos, one could say. Anytime I hear there's a new one, I just have to check it out and hopefully earn as much as I can before I've earned too much and extended my stay. Again.
So she does that super tall chick kind of thing and strolls around you in a circle a couple of times. As she Oh yeah, I think you're perfectly legit in every way. So I'm like, well, I hope you enjoy your stay here. If there are any problems, we have offices on level 1. Soon there'll be better offices. Right now, we're technically just using a cargo hold, and we have desks and chairs and wall dividers in it. But we're getting a real one fairly soon. As you can tell, while the outside of our space station is quite chaotic, we are trying to improve it step by step.
It does show quite a strive for improvement from my short time here so far.
Also, just so you know, if you are going to stay with us for a while, we do kind of run the space station like a starship, and the fact that being a filthy pig will get you thrown into the corpse recycler. I mean, thrown off the ship. Ha 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 ha. But for that one, I can do this. Nope. So, I hate you, Chris. You're not going to do what I want. Oh, you didn't find my joke funny at all. Karad, you know what to do.
I've got this almost slightly worried look in my face.
He's not actually joking.
So yeah, but actually, if you've been here any length of time, there are several places where basic rules are on the walls, because apparently you have to, otherwise people try to break the rules. So if you're an android and you're on my ship, you're free. And if you are afraid of becoming a slave if you leave the ship, we'll figure out how to get you to core. That's just a thing that we do. And what? Yeah, most violations will be met by being thrown into a corpse recycler. It's just a nice way to make sure that, people behave.
That is quite the interesting way of punishment. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Well, it's a family trait to make sure that people understand the first time, so the second person doesn't want to make the same mistake.
And
Sounds
that's
like
where you could do a culture roll.
culture isn't my specialty, but it's not bad.
Just it's up to you.
So
Um,
let's see. I feel like
Oh wait,
maybe
is that with or without your operative's edge?
It is.
Okay, I was just
went
making
and
sure.
added a +2 to everything.
so. I feel like at that level of culture, maybe that like you were kind of probably forewarned of some things. You were
Oh, no.
told that this station was that was run by a couple of exiles from Eox, or at least one was from Eox, and apparently from a relatively wealthy, important family. If anything's to go by, the Alibrian is likely the Eox probably has and has probably got a fairly influential family. But your understanding of the situation is not perfect. But your understanding is that they're exiled partly because they embarrassed the family. But you don't understand the details of it. There is a getting intel in and out of getting any information from Eox is a little bit
Expensive.
well, it's difficult. It's not super easy.
And I won't necessarily go into more details right now, but most
Yeah.
people on the space station, if you question them, know something. So,
Yeah.
especially anyone that's made me angry.
Yeah. I mean, you know a little bit more about the Grimbuckle than you do about Deptfo and her family, but process of elimination is like, oh, this is why there was a concern.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, from behind you, you hear, and about 10 feet above your head, there's an 18-inch drone just kind of hovering above you. And then it zooms down and kind of like rubs up against Kurad and then takes position above you again.
An interesting friend of yours, I assume.
Oh, that's my friend Ha. I made him, but he loves Kurad.
Not a big fan of me, but hey, I fix things, so I don't have to worry about him too much because he's already fixed and working fine. And
Kib starts.
it's kind of a fun little thing. It's kind of fun to watch fly around here and there, but it's kind of entertaining and fun to see.
The longer Kib talks, you see the side panel of Ha open up and a small pistol come out. Just a little bit.
I don't know if you've seen that video of a plane flying over like some naval ship and the anti-air turret is like aiming at it and the guy's like, no, 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 and then it slowly lowers down.
No, I haven't seen that.
It
But it's kind
doesn't
of like
like
that.
me, but hey, it's cool. I'll be quiet now.
I'll
And the
be
gun
sure
goes
to
back
say
in, and
that's
he's
a
like,
good sign.
you hear Ha go, ah, ah, ah. But yeah, that's your introduction to my drone. So anyway, he also has a Bluetooth speaker.
I think Crenville looks at you and says, "Oh, by the way, I understand that they have found that Isig has found who he's going to be sending here to manage the casino. Management should be arriving relatively soon. The biggest holdup was finding the general manager that we were going to be put in place. But I believe we found them, so
All
should
right.
be getting soon. Isig is
I
also
hope
on
so.
the way.
Aren't we like a week and a half behind opening at this point?
That's probably why I was surprised.
He's like, yeah, we're a little behind,
I mean,
but
I'm not angry or anything about it, but Crenville.
these things happen. He goes, do
Mhm.
you have any idea how many of these kinds of businesses we've put up in various places? They're always a week or two behind.
Okay. Before we get too distracted, though, before we left for our little adventure,
we needed to have a meeting with you and it never got done. So, excuse us, Mr. Pyre. I hope to see you again soon, but we have pressing political matters to deal with.
Well, if you ever need my assistance, I'll be here. Since I don't have much of a casino to be at, well,
No, but let it be known that your room will be named after you because you were the very first person to stay here.
the pirate room.
The pie room. Yes, we're going to redo the entire thing now. It'll be great. But we go to the actual office with Gerard, and we're like, so, your sister.
And he takes a deep breath and he goes,
I pour him some Pebblebrook whiskey the second I say it.
he's like, yeah, we weren't, my various siblings and ourselves weren't exactly raised together. Many of us didn't meet until we were already fully grown adults, and some of us didn't know. And do you have any idea how many tieflings there are in the universe out there?
I do. That's not what's important. She presented us with this contract, and I hand him the space pad.
He looks at it and he kind of looks it over for a minute and says, "Oh, it looks like a pretty solid contract. It looks like it'd be a good deal for you."
But our loyalties lie with you, your brother, and the Grimbuckle. And if this causes turmoil for you, we are more than willing to pass on this contract to continue not only our continued diplomatic relations, but to ensure that you are not uncomfortable while you're stuck on our ship.
Well, I can tell you right now that Isig will probably agree in principle that it's probably a good move for you, and he's likely to find some way to take advantage of the situation. They have a competitive, if somewhat seemingly friendly relationship. I don't think Isig will mind necessarily, and Isig is it's his interests that are guiding the Grimbuckle here in the drage system and on this station.
Very well.
However, I would recommend, and Isaac probably will back me up on this, you're going to want to get some concessions there. You're definitely going to want to negotiate to where fiends are forbidden on the station. Devils, demons, other creatures from those sorts of planes, they're not going to respect your laws unless you can kick their ass. And even then, they're going to force you to kick their ass. It's usually not worth the trouble. I think she'll probably agree. She'll probably agree to the stipulations. She might change a couple of the percentage points, but that'll probably be more of a statement and more to save face within her own organization than any real malice.
Okay.
I feel you can count on her to do what's going to be best business for her. If she changes a couple of percentage points on you in terms of trade and whatnot, I'd take it as just a cost of doing business to keep the fiends off the station. It'll still be a good deal either way. As for me, there's really no way to keep her from getting under my skin. She's always going to do that.
Okay. But like I said, this took far too long for us to have. And both Kurad and I were worried about it. Well, so if you're okay with it and Isaac is okay with it, then we'll go ahead and do this because it will be profitable.
Well, hopefully with the casino opening up and my continued duties with the operational around here, I'll be too busy to really notice her, and hopefully she'll find enough business opportunities for her mercenaries to keep her out of my hair. At least enough to be able to coexist.
Well, and honestly, if you wish it, we technically at this point probably have enough people to keep an eye on her, so you can get updates of her whereabouts so you can just stay the fuck away from her if you want.
Hey, giving me a heads up on what section to avoid doing business in on a given day.
I think I lost you for a minute.
He said, "I'm not." He says, "I'm not going to. I'm not going to complain about a heads up on not running into it that will keep me from running into her at the food courts or something."
Very well. That
Assuming
sounds like an excellent tale. We
assuming
shall
there
make
are
sure.
courts. I mean,
Well,
she's
as close as we
probably
can get.
she's probably already looked up she's already looked up my room number, so she already knows where I'm staying at and where the casino's at. But hopefully, this will give me at least some breathing room. And
Right.
hey, I hear the Gurin Empire and the Velquin Empire are not seeing eye to eye. Maybe there's some work for her to be doing there that'll
That'll
be
keep her out of your hair.
uh,
Okay. That's all we really needed from you. I appreciate this meeting. I know it was kind of out of nowhere. But
I kind of expected. Most people will need at least some passing explanation when she does that shit like that.
no, I come from Eox. It's none of my business. If ever you decide you want to tell me, I will listen and keep it close to my heart, no matter how black it is. But for now, that's all we really needed. So, question: has the order of
The Order of Kavoy?
has our representative from the Order of Kavoy arrived yet? We were gone for 3 weeks. We only meant to be gone 2.
Oh, yes, they've got there's a couple of them on board ship. There's a few of them on board right now. Their ship is sort of like in close proximity,
Yeah.
close enough to dock when they're ready to leave. But we've kind of made sure that we keep the docking bays clear so that we can keep the traffic flowing and the whatever trade we've got going. There's like let's see, and it's Prebrellus. What is his official title?
Knight of the First Order.
No, he is the.
Has there been any fights between them and the priest yet?
No.
I'm surprised as much trash talking as he was doing when we came in the other day.
It's like. He says, I think it has to do with respect for yourselves, or maybe or maybe they decide, or maybe they don't really want to risk, or maybe they don't want to risk souring their relationship with us. I don't know. It's
Well, that is the thing about lawful good Barai,
it's
They're
like,
unusual.
says, I don't know. He goes, but they're here.
All right, that was the only other thing I needed. Good luck. Remember to take time off. You need mental health days.
Well, yeah. As I get time, I suppose.
Okay. So, Karad, what do we need to do next? Have a great day. I know the gem fish need to talk to us. I would like to talk to the knights, but if we have something more pressing that you can think of, or you, Kib, or you, Death Arms. I mean, I'm rather interested in our new arrival. I mean, if he could afford to get a room from from Crinville.
Yes.
That's quite a bit of money to be in our system right now.
How to character
But-
my money onto the actual character creation stuff. I had to earn it all right there.
And that's fine. That's fine. We don't know that. But so let's see if this comm number is still the same, and we'll call, because that was the one that we talked to at the big meeting, right? The order.
Yeah, the Order of Kavoy, Prebrellus.
Yeah. So Prev was the one I talked to there. Then I definitely got his comm number because that was my super awesome role. So I will attempt to ring him. Ring, 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 ring.
It's like, Lieutenant Commander Brellis is like,
Brev, it's who am I? Oh, it's Philip. I just got back to the station. I would love if you could stop by the offices on level 1 and see us for a minute.
I would be. He says, He said, I had heard you were looking to speak with me. Wasn't sure you were going to be back soon enough before we left. He says, I'll meet
Yes,
you
I'm
there
sorry. The drift
briefly.
was unkind to us on the way back.
He goes, I understand, as it can be.
Hmm.
And
So we'll see you in a few minutes?
yes.
Okay. When he gets there, Ha is hovering outside the door. And he's like, welcome. And then he flies over and fucking bashes the panel and the door open.
Okay. In the meantime, Pyre, there's a couple of other names that you've heard out here that were of concern. You had heard that there's first of all, you had heard that the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company was seeking to put a presence out here, and rumor has always been speculated within the intelligence community that this sort of humble seeming tea trading company owns stake in a lot of different businesses, controlling stake just quietly. Like, it's often been said, you won't find the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company in the credits and credentials, hollow, award, mags and stuff, because they're moderately profitable as a company themselves. But the rumor has it that they're secretly vastly more influential and wealthy. And there's also been talk that they operate as intelligence manipulators, gatherers, potentially spies. But it's a thing that, like, the intelligence community, nobody's ever been able to prove, but it's always sort of been rumored. And their agents always seem to have the right kind of knowledge at the right kind of time to help the right people accomplish things. But what their specific goals are, nobody's quite sure. Their stated goal on paper is to simply run a moderately successful tea trading company, but given the rumors around them and the sort of like happenstances around them, they've always been worthy of investigation. The other thing that you've been hearing about is apparently out here in the Drage system, there is something of a social organization of some of the richest, most powerful individuals on the Durelium frontier called the Amber Wreath, and there has been concern about the Amber Wreath and their influence and what they might be doing. There's rumors of there's all sorts of rumors and conjecture surrounding them. Nothing good enough to substantiate a solid hypothesis, but it's been said that agents of members of the Amber Wreath, at least one member of the Amber Wreath, has been seen aboard this station at one point also.
Ooh.
But there's a representative, for sure there's a representative of the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company on board.
Okay. So, two potentially dangerous people.
Yeah, some concerning individuals. Are you gonna? So what are you gonna do with your time here while they're meeting with people? Are you gonna go back to your room and settle in? Or are you gonna go get a drink? Are you gonna start trying to track down some information on anything? Or are you gonna get the lay of the land?
Pyre's style is slow but steady. He's gonna let the information come to him more than he's gonna actively try to risk himself actively looking around for information,
All right.
putting
Yeah.
himself at risk. So yeah, he's probably going to get some drink and just listen in on stuff, talk to people, just casual
Right.
conversation.
Well, give me a diplomacy check to see what you can find out here.
Well,
I'm actually not good at
nice.
diplomacy. No, no, I have nothing in diplomacy. It's all bluff and
Yeah, you aren't able to pick anything up today necessarily, but you do like nothing about like the Amber Wreath or nothing specific, nothing specifically. Like you do hear that the name of the agent for the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company, their representative is Zerk Silver Soul. He's an elf. But that's about all you can find out about him as far as the Amber Wreath is concerned. All you can hear, well, everything you hear about them sort of reinforces sort of the reputation the reputation that you have heard, that they are really wealthy, really powerful, and they don't seem to have much concern for people of a lower social stratus. Like, there's one person who overheard one person that had overheard from somebody who overheard somebody that the member of the representative of the Amber Wreath that was here went so far as to tell the owners of this station to their face that they weren't important enough to join their club.
oof. So the Amber Wreath people were just like, "Nah, you're not good enough."
Yeah, they're kind of snobs. They also have a reputation for being a bit debauched.
Damn. Okay. Note to self: kill him. I mean, what? Don't accept that level of douchebaggery.
Yeah, so we'll while you're kind of sitting in on that, we'll cut back over to the meeting with the order of with Prev Brelis and the rest of the landlords of the station, as it were, Incorporated, Lindstrom Corporation, I guess. Prev, shows up and he's got a couple of guards with him. They're both Borai as well. And but they kind of stand guard outside of the office.
Oh, if that's where they want to be, that's fine.
And he comes in. He's dressed for he's dressed for frontier, being on the frontier. He's got his armor, his sword, and his pistol at his side. He's like, "So I understood you had some that you were looking for the order. Apologize it took us so long to get back here, but there were issues that required our attention."
All of us are busy.
Apparently, the corpse fleet had sent a couple of forays to one of the neighboring systems, and well, we were dispatched to deal with the situation. It's a bit of a dangerous affair.
Oh,
That reminds me, we do have we've already transferred a few. We've already transferred some raw materials for a few necrographs for some of our crew.
excellent. Well, I'm glad we're back then, because I'm not sure if Doctor Oglehop. Is that right?
Dr. Oglehop.
I'm not sure if Dr. Oglehop could have done those by himself. So, I guess, Karad, you'll have stuff to do later today.
He's like, says, so what did you wish to talk to us about?
I do a couple of taps on the space pad and bring up the Reverend. What's his name?
Father Karef.
Yeah, Father Karef. And set it down in front of him. And I'm like, this man is Father Karef. Karef, sorry. You know him? Question mark.
No, I don't.
Well, he says he quit your order and is currently preaching against it and preaching for the end of times, the number of 999. Kib, do you remember anything else? See, when I talk to people, no one answers.
Well, um, fixing things, and
No,
I
I meant with the
remember
father.
I'm trying
Oh,
to remember.
Kib,
He
show
was.
him all the graffiti. You
Oh
have those
yeah,
pictures
we
on
have
your tablet, right?
pictures. That's it. So he pulls up on his tablet and be like all the little different graffiti pictures that he's taken of with the different security cameras. Like, so they got this and that, and some of those, but there's more of those, and there's lots of those, and this. Oh, don't look at that picture. No, this one is.
You and your contemplatives, Kib. Anyway, and then we actually do have some fairly recent pictures. He's covered in necromantic tattoos, like old school, like pre-gap tattoos.
Would you be? Could you download? I don't know if this person. I'll have to check our archives back at the home base. Would you mind transferring me some of the images of symbol of these symbols right here? And he points to like the necromantic symbols that are among the graffiti. Really, as much relevant information as you could give me would be helpful.
Well, we decided after he got here that he needed to be on camera as much as possible, so we can literally give you, what, a month and a half of footage if you really want it?
Like, okay, so I got a bunch of pictures on my Slack that you should have sent by now, and then there's like footage. I'm not gonna give you the full month's worth of footage because that's a lot of footage. I mean, it's been following this dude for a while. He's got a prime spot, but I can give you like a couple hours worth of stuff, and you can watch that. And if you want more, then let me know, and I can forward that too. I got that archived in this special folder. And I did some organization that's working well, so I can do that. Yeah.
He's like, I would appreciate it. I'll have to take this back to the um, I'll have to take this back to the council and see it at the heads of the order and see what we can't dig up. Perhaps there's something in the archives about this fellow.
Well, because our loyalty lies with you, when he showed up and started preaching against you, you needed to be notified.
What does he mean when he says the shadows of Kavoy?
He had a whole long story that we probably have footage of too that I could send you, but being from EOX, I hear that sort of thing since I was 4 years old. It wasn't that impressive to me.
He's like, he says, I would keep an eye on him for now, but
Definitely.
I certainly would. I'd keep an eye on him and keep him alive. I'd like to. Once I have a better idea of who he is, once we have a better idea of who he is, command will have some idea of what to do with him. I don't, like I say, it's very interesting. He goes, and he goes, I'd love to watch the footage. I'll make that a priority. Says, he says, as long as we know where he's at, we have once the order makes once the command makes a decision on it, we'll know where to go.
Well, unfortunately, he showed up while we were on one of our little adventures. Otherwise, I probably would have dealt with it differently, but by the time we had arrived back, he had already gained followers. And it would have just made it more prevalent if I had gotten rid of him then.
Probably a good call. He goes, I'm glad you brought this to my attention. I just, he goes, but these symbols are concerning. They don't look like anything that we've seen from the corpse fleet or anything we've seen from Eoxians or any
No, he
Eoxian
only speaks of the old magic.
Hmm. That's very, very disturbing. We don't know much about the pre-gap necromancy or the whims and wills of
I
the
did
gods.
remember something from his story. He said that he'd been studying in a vast library of yours and had come across this information. All right, that's right, Sean.
I don't think he specified that he'd been studying in the Kavoy, a library of the Kavoy, but he had
Oh, yeah.
indicated that
Maybe
he might have been doing it in the name. He might have been researching something else in the name of Kavoy, but found this. It's kind of what it sounded like.
I retract my statement and then state it again in that way. But either way,
Researching for the order. What could bring someone who works for the order to betray everything they know? What kind of madness is in this ancient necromancy? Uh, he seems pretty concerned about it, but he also seems very perplexed.
well, either way, we thank you for waiting on us. And I'm sorry it took so long for us to get back, but as we both know, the drift has a mind of its own. Think
This is
time.
true. This is true. Because I will. He says we'll be leaving in a day or two. As soon as once I've conducted my investigation, have word from command, I'll let you know what I've found out. He goes,
All right. Thank you so much. Battle on and prosper.
he nods and he says, and may he says, and may your he says, and may your life be full of living, and he says, may your life be full of living and full of glory. And he says, and he says, I suppose I should probably contact my people and let them know that we'll be leaving soon.
Mm.
And he says, if you'll excuse me.
I'm like, Kurad, I know we still
Yeah.
need to deal with the gemfish, but let's go find that. What was he, in a freet? Is that what he was?
Yes. You mean the new fellow?
Right. He said he's a gambling man of sorts, so since we can't go to the casino for that, let's see if he's at Bort's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death Arms, Kib, Bort's, drinks, on me.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're paying, I guess. I mean, that works on me. Well, I should be able to fix things. It'll be all right. Yeah, let's go.
Yep, nothing's better than free booze.
All right.
But, so yeah, we head to Bort's.
right.
And bitches.
Yeah, you find Pyre down there. Seems to be chatting with people and gambling.
I don't know if I want to gamble after my last awesome round of gambling. But, who'd you say was the bartender this week?
I don't think I did say.
No, you said Android synth music is playing. I got you.
Yeah, it's Android Death's scent metal.
All right, so have we seen this bartender before? That's the important part.
Maybe. I mean, but then again, he's one of those guys face that looks like he that
Could be
looks
anything.
average. Yeah, he's got one of those faces. He could be an anybody kind of guy.
All right, does he know who we are when we walk in?
Yeah, he's aware.
All right. Good. So we start out with tipping him 20 credits.
He's
And
a
then,
human.
what is it? They make sunrises, right?
Sure, yeah.
Nebulan sunrises. Is that what they were called? It's a variant.
Yeah.
Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 3 Nebulan sunrises for. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, correct. An ice water. 2 Nebulan sunrises. 4 shots for my man here with 4 arms, and then whatever the Freed is drinking over there. Pyre, I think is his name.
Yeah.
So 20.
Pyre,
So
do
40
you have
credits
like?
sound good?
Does what sound good?
Yeah. Pyre
Oh
does
no.
what would Pyre be drinking? Are you drinking like a beer or a liquor drink? Are you drinking like something that appears to be a liquor drink but it's not actually? Or are you drinking like a nectar or something like that?
Oof. Choices. Just to be a terrible person, it's probably like what would be the Starfinder version of a fireball.
Okay. So ironically, you get a Nebulan sunrise too.
there is actually a I think I created there's a Cinderkin brandy.
Ah, that's
It's a
true. I
little,
forgot about that.
it's a little expensive. You had to win a couple of hands to be able to buy
Yeah.
that.
All right. So in that case, 50 credits because we'll say the Cinder King costs 10 credits.
Actually, you know what? You probably had to use your sleight of hand, do like a bar trick to earn that. Like,
Mm.
yeah,
Okay.
you get
50 credits. But I start with tipping the bartender because that's always important.
Always.
yes, it is. He thanks you. He gets to work setting your drinks up. Whatnot.
Huh.
Doesn't take him long. I mean, he's good at his job, but
And he's got a badass bar back.
yeah, probably.
So, yeah, you send the drink over there. You're sitting there in the middle of the hand, and the waiter like sits you down another drink.
I'll do the classic raise the drink to the person who bought it.
Hmm.
Give you a little
We raise
nod.
it too. We go sit at a table near you, but not with you, because once again, I had a horrible gambling problem on the planet that you don't know about.
Oh,
I lost like
I
150.
sit down at the table with him.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But you did better than me. At least
Yeah.
you won half your money back.
True.
I think when you I think right about the time that Kib is walking up to sit down with you, and you're like tipping your drink, the guys that you're playing with both kind of look at their hands and look at each other. And I think the Extangi mercenary, with his weird, sort of Y-shaped head, is flicks his barbed tail a couple of times, shakes his head, and he goes, I'm out. He goes, I fold. And the guy next to him, I think he's a dwarf, is like, oh, I know, and I'm beat. He goes, I drew beans this time. He goes, it's like, it says, and to top it off, the dice ain't been working for me tonight either. He goes, that's a double whammy. If you're having a bad night with the cards and the dice, you're just not going to win some kind of the black holes. So somehow, he goes, he kind of stood, like the Extangi has already stood up and walked away. And he kind of, and the dwarf gets up. He stumbles up a little bit more. Like he's clearly been drinking, and he's obviously not the most coordinated fellow. And he's like, all right, then he goes, I think it's probably past me bedtime. I've got an early shift tomorrow. And he starts heading for the door. But you see Kib, whom you met earlier, come walking up to your table.
Oh, look, an empty seat. And I sit down in one of them.
The others sit at a different table close by.
All right, Kib, we'll have a conversation. You're the one that sat there.
So, we going around or what? I'm pretty good at this game. Let's
Well,
go.
I do suppose it is just you and I, so we can bring on what kind of game can we do that's 2 people?
Okay, there's the dice game that can be 2 people. And then, of course, you can play cannons and black holes with 2 people. It just means that you throw an extra card up top to play. It becomes more like Texas Hold'em, as the humans might say.
Yeah, we can do that then.
Yeah, all right.
All right, Kib, this is where you need to roll that natural 20.
How much are you wagering? This is more for Kib, because I
I'm gonna
figure
go
you don't have
200.
you wager 200. All right. So, what are you saying that you're wagering?
Well, I got this random stick. Let's see what that does.
Wait, what am I saying that I'm wagering?
Yeah, because currently you don't have any credits in your pocket. You just bought this drink. Or
No.
you bought the drink
the first
prior.
drink.
You just bought the drink prior to this.
Yeah, the rest of my money is like back in my room. Yeah, I'll because I do actually have I have 375 credits technically on my sheet. I'll do 200 as well. I'll do two. We'll match.
All right. So what I want here is profession gambling check. For you, it's going to be fairly stiff here, Kib. So for you, it's going to be an untrained check based on charisma. On the other hand, you, my professional gambler friend, get to make a professional gambling check, but if you want to, you can also make a bluff check.
Yes.
I will allow you to aid yourself with a bluff check because this is like Kib is way out of his element gambling with a professional gambler here.
Yeah. I mean, I could not one. Let's see.
We'll
No.
see.
That's the opposite of that.
Oh my god.
We're good. This is a fun game. We got this. I
How
know. I got. Sorry. Just want to
Higher-
know how good they are. I'm good.
You were going to like obfuscate the game and like maybe use some sleight of hand or like you be like distract him from the hand, but you don't need to. He is so terrible at this game. He's just like you. He's so
Here's
terrible
my
at-
money.
It's just like it's you draw so well that you're just like you win easily.
I'm just astounded.
You win.
He's like throwing. He's like putting down an ace to draw a new card, and I'm just like,
Kib, I think it's like you roll a 3.
Or yeah,
You roll like a 3 and a 5, which means you have to draw 8 cards, and the 8 cards you draw 2 black holes, which sucked all of the cards out of his hand, giving him the win.
I got a good hand. We got this. I know I do.
You're like,
Oh.
While I'm watching this go down at the other
Ready?
table, I look at
Yeah.
Kurad and I'm like, he's gonna lose all his money and be begging for fucking loans this month. You know that, right?
Yes, I do know that.
like from the other table, you guys see this go down, and you're like, it's clear that this guy is a professional. This friend is a professional at gambling because he literally just outplays. Like he waits until Kib like he's got a few cards left and he's a few points up, and Kib has to draw a few cards, and he's already a few points up, so he wins because he was a few points up, and then he was out of cards, and he was like, "I'm out, I win."
it's like that moment in Uno where like the one person has like 6 cards left against the other person who has like 2, and that person's like, all right, reverse, skip, reverse, and wild card. I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. It's a similar effect to that. It was just like, yeah.
I look
So
back at Kurad and I'm like, if he stops now, he still has that 100 that I put in his account. So I just remembered he might not have to actually beg too much off of us this month.
Well, that was fun, right? I
At
mean,
this point, I go,
we did
Kib,
good.
bring
What?
your friend over here.
Okay. All right. You
Conversation.
can keep the money. Let's go talk to them. They're more. I don't know. That was fun. Let's go talk to them. They'll be fun. You want to go talk to? Let's go sit over there. We're gonna go sit over there. Now hop down and run, like scammer over there. He's coming.
She's got
He
like
said
an
he'd
arched
hang out.
eyebrows. I didn't even say a response as he just runs off. I'm just like,
yeah.
I want you to know, like, when my notes, I put Kip, high-strung, mechanic, frantic, isekai.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, pretty well nailed it right there.
Though, to everyone's surprise, he's not actually a mechanic. He just does our mechanic stuff. I'm the mechanic and don't do mechanic stuff.
I love that.
Technically, Kib's a technomancer, but he acts like a mechanic most of the time.
And like, I didn't know for the first 5 episodes, just like, he's not a mechanic. And I'm like, yes, he is. No, he just has engineering. And I'm like, oh.
Oh.
No, I was completely convinced that he had decided to make a mechanic too and was just using one of the other things than a drone.
Like an AI that he just wasn't even utilizing.
Yeah. But either way, he is a really decent mechanic. He has a higher like bonus before he rolls than I do, and I'm full on mechanic. So
Jesus.
I help him. Anyway, but yeah, Kib runs back over to the table and I pat him on the head and I'm like, let's get you another drink. And I pay for another drink for him. In fact, I'll
Okay.
make this one a double. So I'll pick 5 cards.
So I thought I had a good hand, but this dude is awesome at this game. But anyways, he's coming. He wants to talk with y'all and learn what's going on. Where'd my drink go? I already finished that one. Where'd my second one? All right,
It's
let's
coming.
go.
It's coming.
Okay. Woo! Drinks aren't good for me because I start talking more, and then I can't stop. Well, maybe I can stop. No, I shouldn't stop.
No.
I'm stopping.
As you're coming over there, Pyre, you see Ha flying above us, and then he lands, but instead of landing next to me, he lands on the other side of Kurad, and you hear like his internal motors going, and it almost sounds like purring.
Aw. But yes, I'll make my way over there. Still quite surprised at this hyperactive isekai who seems to be excited to have lost.
Ah,
Terribly.
excellent, Mr. Pyre. I'm glad you decided to join us. I know Kib can be a little much.
He is quite an excitable young man.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to meet people by, engaging in a game that I did well last time, so I figured I'd do well this time. But they just didn't give me the right cards when I needed them. It happens.
That is the essential of gambling. Sometimes Lady Luck just doesn't smile on you that day.
I thought you were gonna go. Well, you have to know when to hold them.
Texas Hold'em.
But Planet Texas Hold'em. Anyway, so earlier you were talking about how you're a gambler, and as I've watched, I did, see that you are a lot better than my dear friend here. But this is the sort of place that people go to hide. So what really brings you here? I mean, if you have a checkered past, we're not really worried about that here. Mostly we're just worried about no one punching a hole in this tin can that we're trying to make better.
I mean, I've been here a while.
That's true. Kib has actually lived here for over a year now. He was here when this place was still being ran by pirates. We found him abandoned and in the brig when we arrived.
Yeah,
So
it happens.
You are not the pirates running this location?
No, the pirates have been out. Well, we've been here 5 months now. Is that right, Kurad? That sounds right.
Oh,
About 5 months. I'm sure that Crenville actually has the correct number. He arrived about a week before we did.
Ah. Well, I'd heard it was, well, like I said before, new casino opening up. Figured I'd get my hands in before anyone else and get a good look at the place. Maybe make some money. Been kicked out quite a few casinos. Sometimes Lady Luck smiles a little bit too much, if you know what I mean.
I mean, you made money like 5 minutes ago or 2 minutes ago. Man, my evaluation of time ain't so well. Hey, you made money a minute ago.
I gave you a double. You're probably a little tipsy at this point.
I'm gonna add 200 to my sheet.
Yeah, I subtracted mine. You add 200 back. But oh, these drinks are rather tasty, though. They kind of make my. I kind of go faster now for some reason. I don't know what's going on. So I fixed that one thing, so the communication works better from the uh the ships coming in thingy. Oh, I forgot what that thing's called. But the ships come in, they communicate to other people. That thing was awry. That's why I was yelling at that one dude. And then there was something else. All right, my brains needs a defrag. Oh, my later. There's a lot
Yeah,
going on.
perhaps a coffee of some sort for our next drink for you, my friend. Get you a
Maybe
little
a
caffeine.
Decaffeinated tea would be.
Oh, no, he has the opposite effect. If you drowned him in caffeine, he calms down.
I feel like that's very unhealthy, but
Yeah.
who am I to know the
sure.
inner workings of an isekai?
But I have an excellent doctor. I tap Kurat on his shoulder because it's armored. And then we have a fun doctor here too. The children love him.
Oh, and then there's the
They
dude that tried to
do.
kill me. Capture me.
Which did
Did
try
he
to
kill me?
No, you didn't die.
He tried to. No.
And then, of course,
Then there was the kids. That's
I
why I
know
didn't
we
die.
probably mentioned it a little bit before, but the big red guy back there is the bodyguard of this one. Apparently, the fates have decided that he needs one, and it completely pisses the red guy off. That's his job. So, I wave at Death Arms. I'm like, more shots? More shots. I take off another 15 for Death Arms, 4 shots. Yeah. Okay. But for the most part, we've been running this for about 5 months. It's come a long way since we stepped on this tin can. Now it's a tin can that's prettier on the inside in places. Oh, I'm sorry, Death Arms. Did you have something to say? Apparently not. But what else? What else? Our main actual business that we run is we do necrographs at a discounted price. And as you heard in my conversation before, we do have a corpse recycler. That's not a myth. That's a thing that we use. In fact, the Order of Kavoy just brought us some raw materials so that Kurat can operate on a couple of them later. But occasionally we go on some adventures where we try to find things that will be helpful either here or just to us monetarily speaking. We can make almost anything up to level or up to MK1. We're not, super good at anything yet, but we'll get there. And so if you're into that sort of thing, then yes, Kurat right here is the man to do it for. Or sorry, the alien to do it for you. I trust him impeccably. Impeccably? One of those words.
Implicitly?
Sure, we'll go with that one.
We'll go with that.
Rowan's not here to correct my bad grammar. So, and other than that, you're of course here for the casino. Our next upgrade, we're going to try and do a shopping mall and a club. We're going to start making spaceships. We're trying to become the central hub of this little system.
I don't suppose that's going to be too hard without out of the way the system was even to get here.
Well, that's part of the reason that we're here. Is it's hard to get to, and it's a ways from the core and anywhere else where I might get into trouble. I chuckle a little bit. Oh, and then of course you met Nimbus on the way in. He's fun, and I roll my eyes just a little bit. And there are a few other people that I tend to go to in times of need. I'm sure if you're here long enough, you'll meet them all because they'll be like, "Who is the guy that's staying in the hotel or the casino before it's open?" You're big news right now. So,
It's always good to know.
well,
Do ha-
we still have a small enough population that gossip is really the best trade we have here.
I have noticed there is a tendency for a lot of talking here in this boards, booze, and bitches.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
say a lot of things randomly that don't make sense, and then just because we got to communicate. How else are you going to learn to talk to people? Previous people, they hardly ever talked. They had secrets out the wazoo. I know 98% of them, but whatever. It's the way things are. People talk, people keep secrets. That's how it works.
When he says that, I place my hand on his shoulder. And I'm
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
"Kib, you're drunk.
Very
Loose,
much so.
loose lips sink ships. Why don't you go take a nap? Or
Uh,
change the subject."
so we fix things. I need more materials to make things better, so it won't look like a giant big wheel floating through space. Put some paneling up and protect your stuff. And if we get more materials, then we can make it look prettier and get stuff up, and it'll be really cool. So that's what I want to do.
Yes. You're doing great. I'm sorry I got you a double. I should have just kept you on singles. That's my bad. Anyway, Pyre, uh, hopefully in the next week or so, we will get this up and running as far as the casino goes, so you can at least be in a class you're doing. Did you see the fountain to Besmira in the front of the casino?
I did. It is quite an interesting addition, not one I had ever thought I'd see plastered
And,
up like that.
and quite literally too, because Besmera is less about ostentatious shows and more about like practical robbing and looting. Like the from what most worshippers of Besmera just toss something they've stolen out an airlock and space it as their offering to her, to the goddess of piracy. Most people don't build large like shrines or statues or anything to her. So this is a
Well,
different thing.
yeah, you'll have to forgive me. While I appreciate Besmira for what she does, when we came up with the name after weeks, literally, of trying to figure it out, I decided I wanted to go big or go home. Wait till you see what's in the club when we open it. It's going to be amazing.
I can't wait. So
All right, but there's still a little time before we can actually put a club in. We're still waiting on raw materials to show up, and they show up itty bitty pieces at a time, it seems.
I imagine it'd be quite slow getting anything out here.
Oh yeah. One of the things about the drage system you were warned about is the fact that no ship coming from a system outside of the Durelium frontier that larger than a small size ship can go through the drift to get there. With large ships within the Durelium frontier can drift travel in between the different systems within the Durelium frontier, but for whatever reason, medium-sized or larger ships cannot enter the drift to go out to leave the Durelium frontier or to go to the Durelium frontier. So it's all had to come out on light freighters and shuttles.
Yeah. It's kind of fun that way. But, you have to pay for your sins somehow. So, Kurad, it just occurred to me in my slightly drunken state. By the way, this entire time that you've been with us, Kurad is just drinking water, while the rest of us are getting hammered. But
Yes.
I look at Kurad and I'm like, weren't we supposed to go visit a time dragon?
What?
Maybe.
That's a thing, right?
That there's a time dragon.
Yeah.
You heard mention of one. Uh, give
Hmm.
me a culture check to see what you might know about something like that.
Kurad, you should probably make one too, because you were there for it, I remember.
Okay.
I got a 20.
Ooh, nice.
Trent's not most cultural individual.
It's okay. I appreciate the help.
So I think what this looks like is maybe you have
Well, Kib's been here for a year. Kib, make a culture check.
culture is not something you can make untrained. I don't think Kib has
Oh.
culture.
You don't have any ranks in culture? Then forget it.
Nope.
Wait. Okay.
And Pyre, you've been here like in the bar for a few hours, listening and conversating. You can make a culture check to see if you know anything as well. Spacers talk.
Same as everyone. We all rolled so close.
Oh, nice.
So you remember hearing mention, and it's maybe like this, probably the opportune time where a guy walks up and he's like, says, "Excuse me, did you say something about a time dragon?"
Yeah, a few months ago it was mentioned to us, and suddenly it occurred to me that is someone that I'd still like to meet.
He goes, well, he goes, I heard something about a dragon, a time dragon.
Okay, I buy him a drink.
Find the guys. Let me find him real quick here.
Sorry to make you hunt for stuff we hadn't talked about for weeks.
No. Says, he's a human. He looks like he's been a spacer for a while. He goes, he looks like he goes, he coughs. He's like, name's Cobb McCobb. And he says, I heard tale about this time dragon. He says, heard some folk talking. He's on one of the moons, I think. Around, it seems like it was the second or the third planet. I'm not sure which. And he says, he gives you he does that thing that people do when they're like when they're like, and would you like to know more? I've
That was
got,
why I bought him the first
yeah.
drink.
He's like,
Does he want actual credits?
he's like, says seems my memory's not quite what it used to be.
I get that all the time, but usually if I just poke the side of my head right here, it sort of lines up and brings up what I was forgetting about. You want to try?
Well, Kreb McKreb, I think that I could spare a few credits, and I hand him 10 credits.
And he kind of looks at you, and he kind of looks back at you expectantly.
That was why I rolled that 23.
And he's like, look, I'm not gonna hang you by your ankles on this, but 10, really?
Well, I motion at murder arms. Oh. Fine, I give him 10 more. 20 credits ain't bad for like a gossip story that's not even that good of a gossip story.
Here's a 50.
Oh, then I don't give him my 10 credits.
He goes, and he kind of looks at it and he goes, all right. And he goes, he goes, so they tells a tale of a time dragon named Atralex moved into one of the moons around the second planet. Seems folks say the old dragon's keeping her eye on something, but nobody can quite say what and where. What seems to who knows what them time dragons? They're always looking at things that the rest of us can't see and ain't looking to. Well, they got a longer vision than us. It comes to time, perceive it a little different from the rest of us. So,
Unacquainted with dragon lore, but I appreciate it. Continue.
so anyway, so the most interesting part of the story is some folks say that this dragon, this Atralax, moved in right around the time that moved into this system within the same year that the Versped Research Center, Versped Research Collective set up their station over in the fuck system is there in? Oh,
What the fuck?
over in
That's a strange name for a system.
over at the Protomall station over in Resum system. I mean, it wasn't exactly, and people say it wasn't exactly the same day or even the same month, but there have been folk that point out that it was kind of eerie that this dragon took up residence here in the Drage system about in the same year that a research group sets up in one system over. I don't know if it's related, but that's kind of the rumor. This is way I hear it is on the way I hear it that Atralex, destroyed one or two pirate ships that came around bothering her.
Bothering. Okay, that's good to know.
Says the first. He says, I think the first one was there to see what kind of horde she might have. I don't think they understood the difference between time dragons and metallic dragons. Says,
Right.
and the second one, a group. Oh, I think they got too close or something. Anyway, they were the first group. They found the wreckage. Second ship, never seen again.
Well, thank you, Kreblin, right?
It's Cobb Macabre.
Okay, well, I got it close. Cobb Macabre.
It was like,
Thank you, Cobb Macabre. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Remember, they'll be there on Monday to check your room.
he nods. He goes, much obliged. And he kind of holds the credits up and grabs the drink. And he says, and he kind of goes, heads off to the bar.
I look at Kib and I'm like, double his rent.
I make a mental note of that person because now I know he has some money to lose.
Right. Okay. So Jester, I think that sounds like fun. So we'll do it this way. So, Mr. Pyro's. That's not right. Mr. Pyre. Have you ever met a time dragon?
I can't say I have, no.
Does it sound interesting? Because I think that's what we're going to do next week. And if the casino's not open, it'll give you something to do. And if we find something interesting, or the dragon decides that it's going to give us something interesting, you can gain a share from it.
I'm always down to earn some more money as long as, I survive the the game, you could say.
Trust me, I'm not ready to become a Borai yet.
Suppose that would make two of us in a way.
Jester, it's 11:36. This seems like a good turn point.
Sure. Somebody want to?
Unless Death Arms has a scene he needs to do.
Yeah, that's a good question. Death Arms, do you have anything you need to do specifically?
Okay, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Muted.
Okay, so if
Let's.
not, what about you, Kurad?
Nothing at the moment.
All
Yeah.
right. So I suppose let's start. Let's start doing sign-offs, and everybody send me your players' choice awards. And who wants to go first?
I don't know. Brian, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian C. Today I play Kirrod. Always the quiet one and just looking at people wondering corpse recycling.
Right. Don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I bet we
So-
get like 70 credits out of him.
You never know.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can also find me on Saturdays running Lands of Iberia, where this lovely group of adventurers are exploring within the Pathfinder's own homeworld setting, an area that, well, really is out to get you. That's putting it mildly. Currently, they are on the way to scout out a dragon's lair. That never ends good, most of the time. And yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Kib, you want to go next?
Okay, I'm Scott. I play Kib. I'm normal. Okay, so I played a little fun, little fast talking dude that fixes things. I don't know why he fixes things. He just feels like he should fix things. That's in his brain. Okay, I'm also in Lands of Ibaria, which I'm the bad cat that started the bad fight a couple weeks ago, and last time I didn't get a start, continue to finish the fight, so they finished it without me and still yelled at me, even though I wasn't there. But that's okay, because they did weird things, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't there. But yep, that's me.
All right. Soul Demon, you want to go next?
He did.
He did.
You're muted if
Hello.
you're talking. There you are. Are you there?
Yep, I am here.
There we go.
Okay. Yep. I am Soul Demon. I played, well, I pretty much just sat and watched and pretty much tried to intimidate every new person I come across. And I am in Lands of Iberia. I haven't been there because of work. I will be there in June. Guaranteed to be there in June. And that's me.
Alrighty. Well, that leaves us with Sassy.
Yo, it's your boy Sassy Nasty. Macho Man Sassy. You caught me here playing Pyre, a temporary character because my schedule has changed while I'm in training at my job for a command position. Whoop, whoop. But unfortunately,
Nice.
once that changes, once that goes through, I'll go back to my normal schedule and actually an hour earlier. So I'll be starting at 10. But you can catch me here on multiple games now. So Wednesdays in Over the Horizon as not for the next couple of weeks. I won't be there for the next couple of weeks, but normally in Over the Horizons you can catch me as Gideon Sunborn, the strength based ranger with a glaive and a heart of gold. And then you can catch me on Fridays in Yakshas as Sin and with his AI companion Set as we hack the world and make our enemies run into each other or run into our big fuck off mech who just shoots him in the face with a shotgun. That's my favorite part. We call it batters up. And then you can catch me in Lands of Iboria as Duramog, the orc witch alchemist who, good lord, alchemists are crazy. I can make 21 healing potions a day if I really wanted to. They end at the end of the day, but still, I can make sure no one dies ever. And that is everything wrapping back around to Mondays for now. Yeah, that's everything.
And even though I said last but not least, I'm David the Gnome. Tonight I played Philip Defoe, and we finally got some stuff that we kept forgetting about out of the way, and I'm happy about that. And we're super stoked that Sassy is with us, and that's all I really do right now. So on to the Just a King.
Awesome. So bookkeeping out of the way first. Philip and Kib tied for the player's choice, so you each get 25 XP. With that said, I am the Just a King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for Freewheel Station. That's all I'm in at the moment. I hope to change that eventually, but for the time being, I got so much going on, it's stupid. But we'll try to get to getting more, being in more content if I can get the chance. But I think, oh yeah, so I guess we get like one last scene. So I think like post-credit scenes, if you will. So we go back a step, back to the back to Boards, Booze, and Bitches, and maybe we're looking at the characters, but we're looking at them from a different camera and a different angle. But we actually see from this different angle. Where is it? Oh, okay. We actually see a a hooded figure sitting in one of the booths in the corner, looking at the table where Pyre, Phillip, and Kib and Kurad were all, and Death Arms were all sitting at, and there's as they kind of stand up and as they kind of sit there. Maybe the camera pans just enough to see a little bit of the profile of the face, and we see a rather, we see the darkened skin of a drow elf, and we see a lock of silver hair come out fall out from the side of the hood, and then we see the camera pans down, and we see as this individual adjusts her coat, her coat or whatever, we see like a needler pistol strapped to their side, and they as they kind of pull the coat back to cover the needler pistol, pull their hood down a little bit, and go back to their drinks. And with that said, post-credit scene done and everything, let's bring out the dragon and get out of here. Bring out the dragon!